I watched him for 3 months before I decided. Every morning, same pattern. 8:30 at the park bench, coffee in hand. Expensive suit, perfectly pressed. Leather briefcase. Wedding ring catching the sunlight. He looked successful. Honest. Trustworthy. Perfect. I'd tested 27 people before him. 26 failed, took the money, kept it, lied about finding it. Some didn't even bother calling the number on the cards inside. 26 out of 27 proved me right. People are thieves when nobody's watching. I needed one more confirmation that my worldview was correct, that trust is foolishness, that everyone has a price. The wallet was ready. Brown leather, worn enough to look real. $5,000 cash inside. 50 $100 bills. My business cards with a working phone number. A handwritten note with my address. And the photograph. A woman in her 30s, smiling at the camera. A little girl on her lap, laughing. Happy family. Perfect life. It wasn't my family. I lost them 3 years ago. My wife took our daughter and left. Said I'd become someone she didn't recognize. Someone cold, suspicious, incapable of trust. She was right. But I had reasons. I placed the wallet on the bench at 8:20, 10 minutes before he arrived. Then I walked to my usual spot across the path, unfolded my newspaper, put on my sunglasses, became invisible. People never noticed the man reading the paper. He arrived exactly at 8:30, punctual, disciplined. He sat down, placed his briefcase beside him, took out his phone, started scrolling through emails while sipping his coffee. The wallet lay half a meter to his left. I watched, waited. My heart rate elevated slightly. It always did during tests. The anticipation. The moment of truth. 5 minutes passed. He remained absorbed in his phone. 7 minutes. Still nothing. At minute 9, he shifted position. His left hand reached out to adjust his briefcase. His fingers brushed the wallet. He looked down, noticed it. Here it comes, I thought. Now I see who you really are. He picked it up slowly, turned it over in his hands, looked around, checking if anyone nearby had dropped it. The park was empty except for a jogger in the distance and me with my newspaper. He opened the wallet. I leaned forward imperceptibly, watching his face. His expression changed. Surprise first, eyes widening. Then something else. Concern. He examined the contents carefully, flipped through the bills. I saw his lips move slightly, counting. Looked at my business cards. Read the handwritten address note. Then he found the photograph. He stopped, stared at it for long seconds. 20, maybe 30 seconds. His face softened. Something like sadness crossed his features. He closed the wallet carefully. This is the moment, I thought. This is when he decides, when I see his true character. He placed the wallet back on the bench, exactly where he'd found it, stood up, gathered his briefcase, threw his empty coffee cup in the trash, and walked away. I sat frozen. He just left? Left $5,000 sitting there? My mind raced. Maybe he was afraid, thought it was a trap. Police sting operation, hidden cameras catching him if he took it. But that didn't explain the photograph. That long look. If he thought it was a trap, why open it at all? Why examine the contents so carefully? Why look at that photograph like it meant something to him? I waited 5 minutes to make sure he was gone, then walked over and retrieved the wallet. Everything inside, untouched. The bills weren't even rearranged from his counting. Something felt wrong. Off. This wasn't how my tests usually went. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying the scene. His face when he saw the photograph. The careful way he closed the wallet. the deliberate placement back on the bench. Most people who left the money did so nervously, quickly, looking around. Fear motivated them. He'd been calm, deliberate, almost respectful. I decided on a second test, harder to dismiss as fear. Next morning, I arrived at his office building. 23rd floor, law firm. I'd researched him, senior partner. Successful, wealthy enough that 5,000 shouldn't tempt him, but in my experience, the wealthy were often the greediest. Security waved me through. Good suit, confident stride, leather briefcase, the uniform of belonging. Nobody questions you when you look like you belong. His office door stood open. Nameplate, James Morrison. Empty office. I checked my watch, 12:15. Lunch break. Perfect. I walked in. Placed the wallet on his desk. Same wallet, same money, same photograph. This time, no explanation of fear, no hidden camera's excuse. Just him, alone in his private office with $5,000 and nobody watching. I left quickly. Found a spot in the corridor around the corner. Waited. 23 minutes later, footsteps. His voice talking to someone. Finished the brief by Thursday. Thanks, Sarah. He entered his office. I heard his briefcase hit the desk. Then silence. Long silence. I risked a glance around the corner. He stood at his desk, holding the wallet, staring at it like it was a ghost. His hands trembled slightly. He opened it. Same careful examination. But this time, his face showed confusion. Deep confusion. He took out his phone. Dialed the number from my business card. My phone vibrated in my pocket. I silenced it immediately, heart pounding. He waited. I could hear him breathing from where I hid. After 6 rings, voicemail. He spoke. Hello, my name is James Morrison. You've lost your wallet. I found it. Twice now, somehow. I don't understand what's happening, but I have it. Everything's inside. Please call me back at this number. Don't worry. Everything's safe. He hung up, stared at the wallet for another minute, then carefully placed it in his briefcase, locked it, and left his office. I stood in that corridor for 5 minutes after he left, trying to understand. He called. He actually called the owner, with genuine concern in his voice, and he was keeping it safe, not to steal it, but to protect it until he could return it. This wasn't fear. This was something else entirely. Something I'd stopped believing existed. I called him that afternoon, claimed I was the wallet's owner, said I'd been frantically searching. So grateful someone honest found it. His relief was audible. Thank God, I've been worried sick. I can't imagine how you lost it twice, but I'm just glad you called. We arranged to meet. Same park, same bench. 6 p.m. I arrived early, sat on the bench, waited. He appeared at exactly 6, saw me, walked over with a smile of relief. Mr. Wilson? He asked, using the name from my business cards. Yes. Thank you so much for... He handed me the wallet. Please check everything. I need to know nothing's missing. I opened it slowly, examined the contents. Everything there, every single bill, every card, the photograph. It's all here, I said quietly. I don't know how to thank you. No thanks necessary. He started to leave. Wait, I said. Can I ask you something? He turned back. Of course. Why didn't you take the money? His eyebrows rose. Take it? It's not mine. But $5,000. Nobody was watching. Nobody would ever know. His face changed. Something sad entered his eyes. I would know. That's it? Just you would know? He sat down beside me on the bench. 4 years ago, I found a wallet. Different situation. At a restaurant. Had $800 in it. ID, credit cards, family photos. I turned it in to the manager without looking through it much. He paused, looking at the sky. 2 weeks later, I got a letter from the owner. Elderly man, 83 years old. That $800 was everything he had until his Social Security check came. He'd withdrawn it to pay his rent. Lost the wallet somehow. Thought his life was over. James looked at me. He wrote that I saved him from eviction, from losing everything. He cried when the restaurant called, said he'd lost faith in people, and I gave it back. That letter changed me, made me realize that what we do when nobody's watching defines who we are. Not our job, not our wealth, not what we show the world, but what we do in those moments when we could take the easy path and nobody would know. He touched the wallet I was holding. When I saw the photograph in there, the woman and child, I thought, what if this money is for rent, for medicine? What if the person who lost this is desperate? What if taking it destroys someone's life? I have money. Good job. I don't need $5,000. But maybe you do. Maybe your family does. And even if you don't, it's not mine to take. Simple as that. I stared at him. My throat felt tight. I would know, he repeated softly. That's enough. I have to live with myself every day. Look at my wife. Look at my sons. How can I teach them integrity if I don't live it? Even when it's hard, even when nobody's watching, especially when nobody's watching. He stood again. Take care of that family, he said, gesturing to the photo. They're what matters. Everything else is just noise. He walked away. I sat on that bench as the sun set, holding the wallet, staring at the photograph. My photograph. My real one. The wife who left me. The daughter I haven't seen in 3 years. For 3 years, I've been conducting these tests. 27 people tested, looking for proof that everyone's corrupt, that trust is foolish, that my cynicism was justified. 26 proved me right, took the money, confirmed my worldview. But this one man, this one person, he didn't just pass the test, he destroyed my entire worldview. Because he wasn't afraid of cameras, wasn't worried about getting caught. He was honest because I would know. That's enough. Simple. Pure. Honest. Everything I'd stopped believing existed. I thought about that elderly man's letter, about how one act of integrity changed James Morrison's entire life philosophy, made him the kind of person who returns $5,000 twice, who calls with genuine concern, who lives his values when nobody's watching. And I thought about me, what I'd become. A man so broken by betrayal that I spent 3 years trying to prove everyone's broken too. Testing strangers, setting traps. Searching for the worst in humanity to justify the worst in myself. My wife was right. I had become someone she didn't recognize. Someone I didn't recognize. But maybe I could change. If James Morrison could be shaped by one act of integrity, maybe I could be shaped by witnessing one act of integrity. I took out my phone, dialed his number. He answered on the second ring. Hello? Mr. Morrison, it's David Wilson, the wallet owner. I need to tell you something. Yes? I lied to you. The wallet. I didn't lose it. I placed it. Both times. It was a test. I was testing your honesty. Long silence. I've been testing people for 3 years, I continued. 27 tests. You're the only one who passed. The only one who was honest when nobody was watching. I needed you to know that. Your integrity. It changed something in me. More silence. Then, why were you testing people? Because I stopped believing honesty existed. Because I was hurt and bitter and needed to prove everyone's corrupt. And now I know I was wrong. You showed me that. One person. One act of pure integrity. You changed my entire worldview. I just did what was right, he said quietly. That's exactly what makes it extraordinary. I hung up, looked at the photograph again. Tomorrow, I'll call my wife. Apologize. Ask if we can talk. Tell her I want to be the father my daughter deserves. Not because I have to be. Not because someone's watching. Because I would know if I wasn't. And that's enough. One person. One moment of pure honesty. Changed everything. Now I ask you, what would you do if you found $5,000 when nobody's watching? Your answer to that question defines not who you pretend to be, but who you truly are.